Most people don't stay broke because they're lazy or stupid. They stay broke because they were trained that way. The system, the habits, the mindset, all working quietly against them. And the scariest part? Most people never realize it, until it's too late. Around the world, millions of people wake up every morning with the same routine, the same worries, and the same silent fear. They work hard, sometimes harder than anyone else they know, yet at the end of every month, the money is gone. Not spent on luxury, not wasted on extravagance, but simply disappeared into bills, debt, and survival. This experience is not limited to one country, one economy, or one social class. It happens in rich nations and poor nations, in big cities and small villages. And for many people, it feels normal. It feels like life. But the truth is far more uncomfortable. Most people stay broke not because of bad luck, but because they are stuck in a cycle they were never taught how to escape. From a young age, we are taught how to behave, how to follow rules, and how to survive within a system. We are taught to go to school, get good grades, find a stable job, and work hard for decades. But what is rarely taught, almost anywhere in the world, is how money actually works. We are taught how to earn money, but not how to manage it. We are taught how to obey systems, but not how to question them. And most dangerously, we are taught that being broke is normal, temporary, and something that will magically fix itself one day if we just keep working harder. For most people, money problems don't start with bad decisions. They start with beliefs. Beliefs passed down from parents, teachers, culture, and society. Beliefs like money is hard to earn, rich people are greedy, just be grateful you have a job, or I'll think about saving when I earn more. These beliefs may sound harmless, even responsible. But over time, they become invisible limits. They shape how people think, how they act, and how they react to opportunities. When money is seen as something scarce, dangerous, or out of reach, people unconsciously make choices that keep it that way. One of the biggest reasons people stay broke is that their entire financial life is built around survival, not growth. Most income goes straight to expenses the moment it arrives. Rent, food, transportation, utilities, debt payments. Whatever is left is often used as emotional relief, entertainment, small pleasures, or impulse purchases, because life already feels exhausting. Saving feels impossible, investing feels risky, and thinking long-term feels like a luxury reserved for people who already have money. This survival-based thinking traps people in a loop where there is never enough left to change their situation. Another powerful force keeping people broke is debt. Across the world, debt is marketed as a solution, not a problem. Credit cards promise freedom, loans promise happiness, and monthly payments are presented as affordable lifestyle upgrades. But debt doesn't just take money, it takes future freedom. Every payment is a promise that tomorrow's income is already spoken for. Over time, people don't work to build a better life, they work to maintain past decisions. Debt quietly turns effort into obligation, and obligation into exhaustion. What makes this even more dangerous is how socially accepted it is. Being in debt is no longer seen as a warning sign, it's seen as normal adulthood. Student loans, car loans, personal loans, credit card balances, they are treated like milestones rather than chains. People compare lifestyles, not net worth. They compare appearances, not freedom. And because everyone around them seems to be doing the same thing, the cycle feels unavoidable. Another reason people remain broke is that their income depends entirely on their time. If they stop working, the money stops flowing. This time for money trade is the foundation of most jobs worldwide. While there is nothing wrong with honest work, the problem arises when time is the only asset someone has. Time is limited, energy declines, and life happens. Illness, layoffs, economic crises, all can instantly cut off income. Without systems that generate money beyond personal effort, financial stability remains fragile. Most people are never taught to think in terms of assets. They are taught to buy things, not build things. They are encouraged to consume more as income rises, rather than capture the difference. Lifestyle inflation quietly eats every raise, every bonus, every improvement. The house gets bigger, the phone gets newer, the subscriptions increase. From the outside, it looks like progress. From the inside, it's still the same financial pressure, just at a higher level. Fear also plays a massive role in keeping people stuck. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of losing what little security they have. Many people stay in jobs they hate, situations that drain them, and financial habits that hurt them simply because the alternative feels unknown. Risk is often portrayed as dangerous, while staying the same feels safe. But in reality, staying stuck is often the riskiest option of all. Breaking the cycle of being broke does not start with earning more money. That's one of the biggest myths in personal finance. Many people earn more and still struggle. The cycle breaks when the relationship with money changes. When money is no longer seen only as something to spend, but as something to direct. When every dollar is given a purpose, not just a destination. The first real shift happens when awareness replaces autopilot. When people start tracking where their money actually goes, not where they think it goes. This simple act alone is uncomfortable for many, because it reveals patterns they've avoided confronting. But awareness creates control. Control creates choice. And choice is the beginning of freedom. The next shift is learning to live slightly below one's means, not as punishment, but as strategy. This gap between income and expenses is where power is created. It becomes savings, emergency funds, investments, and options. Even a small gap, consistently protected, can change a life over time. This is not about extreme frugality, but about intentionality. Breaking the cycle also requires redefining success. Not as possessions, not as appearances, but as flexibility and peace of mind. Being able to say no. Being able to walk away. Being able to handle emergencies without panic. These are signs of real wealth, even if they are invisible to others. Education plays a critical role here. Not formal education, but financial education. Learning the basics of budgeting, investing, compound interest, risk management, and income diversification. These skills are not reserved for experts or the wealthy. They are learnable, practical, and applicable anywhere in the world. The lack of this knowledge is not a personal failure, it's a systemic gap. Another key element is patience. The world promotes fast results, overnight success, and instant wealth. But real financial change is often slow and boring. It's built through consistency, not excitement. Small actions repeated over years outperform dramatic moves driven by emotion. People who escape the cycle understand this. They stop chasing shortcuts and start building foundations. Equally important is identity. People often act in alignment with who they believe they are. If someone believes they are bad with money, they will continue making decisions that prove it true. Changing financial behavior often requires changing self-perception. Seeing oneself as someone who plans, who learns, who adapts. This shift may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is powerful. It's also important to recognize that breaking the cycle does not mean abandoning joy or becoming obsessed with money. It means using money as a tool rather than being controlled by it. It means reducing stress, increasing options, and building a life that feels stable rather than fragile. Across cultures, languages, and economies, the pattern is the same. People who escape being broke do not necessarily earn the most. They think differently. They act intentionally. They delay gratification. They protect their future selves. And they understand that money is not just about numbers, it's about behavior. The cycle of staying broke thrives in silence, shame, and confusion. It breaks in clarity, education, and small consistent action. No matter where someone starts, no matter their background, the first step is realizing that being broke is not a life sentence. It is a pattern. And patterns can be changed. The moment someone stops asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and starts asking, "What can I change?" everything begins to shift. Slowly, quietly, and powerfully. And over time, what once felt impossible becomes inevitable.